Come on and shine, shine, shine. Las Vegas, shine your light on me.
Welcome to Las Vegas Tonight. Join award-winning host Dale Davidson as he interviews the most remarkable people you'll find in the entertainment capital of the world. You'll meet entertainers, sports figures, newsmakers, community and business leaders, and people just like you with stories that'll touch your heart. Now, here's Dale Davidson.
Welcome to Las Vegas Tonight. I'm your host, Dale Davidson. Each and every episode, we bring you fascinating guests. Boy, we've outdone ourselves today. We have Heidi Harris, a dear friend, a Las Vegas icon. I think she's too young to be an icon.
Well, some people call themselves icons. I'm not calling myself an icon.
Thanks for coming on. Heidi is a well-known broadcaster here in Las Vegas and across the nation. She has been in radio here in Las Vegas for years. She is well-known and well-respected in her industry. And she has been on, I don't know how many cable shows. Many cable news shows. Yeah, and she has an opinion or two, which you're about to find out.
Well, don't we all have opinions?
Yes, we do.
Thanks for having me, Dale.
Yeah,
well,
thanks for coming on again, Heidi. It's really nice to see you. Let's talk a little bit about your life in Vegas before we get into current events.
Okay.
You're the one. You grew up, you're a native.
I was born in Las Vegas.
Yeah, there aren't many who can make that claim.
There aren't very many who can make that claim. When I was a kid, where we are now in this studio was all dirt.
Yeah.
And we spent our childhood hunting lizards and building forts and things like that in the desert. Not killing them, just capturing them and then returning them. Don't think. And that's what we used to do. We build forts and do all that kind of stuff as children, and it was a lot of fun drinking water out of a hose.
And
we
still
survived
survived.
it, and we liked it.
And you didn't wear a helmet when you rode your bike?
No helmets and no car seats. It was mom with the arm. That was what we got. That was the car seat right back then. And, you know, even the monkey bars. When I was a kid, the monkey bars, you know, you get on the monkey bars, they were 120 degrees.
Oh, yeah.
And I was never good on the monkey bars. So still, you grab them, and now, and then you'd fall off, and you grab a handful of sand, and you get back up, and now you got a canopy on the top.
Oh,
and you have 4 inches of foam on the bottom.
Right.
You know what's crazy?
Recycled tires.
Right. When's the last time you saw a kid with a skinned knee? Think about that.
I cannot think of that.
Right? You have grandkids, you understand what I'm talking about. You don't even see kids who are beat up. I'm not talking about abuse, but you know, just out there being kids anymore.
Yeah, that's right. Getting thrown off their bikes and all that fun stuff.
I was thrown off my bike when I was a kid and got some scars. I was sliding in the gutter, no helmet. This is what we did when we were kids. It built character.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Speaking of your mom, you mentioned your mom. Your mom and dad were both in show business.
Yes, my mom was a singer.
Yeah.
She and her sisters had a 3-girl singing act.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they came through Las Vegas, and my dad was introduced to my mom, and 6 weeks later they got married.
Wow.
Her mother tried everything to talk her out of it.
He's a Vegas guy.
Well,
he's a musician.
He's a musician. Well, my dad moved here in 1958. He had gotten off the road with Benny Goodman and some other people, played with some very, very top folks. Trumpet player.
A trumpet player, right.
And he played lead trumpet for many, many years at the Riviera.
Right.
And he would play sometimes at the Relief Band, which would be the band that would travel around and give the other bands a night off.
Right.
He would work with the Merv Griffin shows, the telethons, all kinds of other stuff. Did a lot of side stuff. And my mom was able to stay home with us as kids because of my dad was able to work so much.
Yeah.
Back then, you could make a really good living as a musician.
Yeah,
so
it's
he
hard
did.
now.
It's hard now. It's very, very hard now. We did that, and that was a lot of fun. And, you know, it just was a fun life growing up here. I mean, we would go backstage and watch all the big acts. If I wanted to go see somebody.
You figured this is normal. This is what kids do.
Yeah, my dad would say, you know, the kids are, you know, come see whoever it is who was in town, and we'd go sit backstage. And it was funny. There's a funny story I tell in the book about, I was about 9 years old. And my brother and I were sitting backstage at the Riviera, and you know how they have those chairs, at least they did, in the showroom that are very skinny on the back.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
and they're designed to cram as many people as possible into a showroom.
Sure.
So you'll never get out if there's a fire. So we were sitting backstage and watching a comedy act called Skiles and Henderson.
Oh, I remember Skiles
them?
And Henderson.
Very, very talented.
Yeah,
well, they were the opening act for the Carpenters that night.
Okay.
So we were sitting backstage on these chairs, and my brother said, "Oh, I'm going to sit on the back of mine."
And you had to outdo him.
I had to do that too. And when I sat up on the back of my chair, I came crashing down backwards. And my dad was on the bandstand, and he said, I know that's my kids. I just know it. But here's the worst part. The worst part for me, because I was, probably 9 or 10, so almost puberty, but not quite.
Yes.
So not a little girl anymore.
Yes.
And who was behind me, who helped me get up, was Richard Carpenter.
Is that right?
From the Carpenters.
Wow.
Who was sitting backstage just watching Skiles and Henderson. And I was mortified that here's this guy who's helping me.
And he's kind of a cute guy.
Well, I didn't think of that, but I just thought, ooh, and he's a famous guy, and he's helping me up, and my dad's going to be mad, and all that kind of stuff. But it was a lot of fun to go back and watch. I wish I'd been older when a lot of the stuff happened.
Yeah.
But I met all the big celebrities, and when I was 9, this is a big deal.
Yes.
Now, my dad was at the Riv, and the Osmonds played at Caesars. Now, you have to understand, Donny Osmond, when I was 9, was like Justin Bieber. Okay, this is it. This is
he was
the
hot stuff.
guy in the world. Okay?
Yes.
So my dad knew somebody at Caesars, got us backstage.
Would you like to meet Donnie?
That's right. Would you like to meet Donny
Marie,
Osmond?
we don't care about.
You got to understand how big a deal. Yeah. Nah, Marie, and by the way, she's a fantastic singer, but this was when it was just the Osmonds before Marie joined them.
Right,
okay?
yeah.
She is fantastic.
She's a nice lady.
I've always liked her.
Yeah,
What a great singer she is. What an amazing talent. Both of them. Huge talent.
Yeah.
So here I'm backstage at Caesars, terrified, and Donny Osmond comes out, and they all came out, and they had these Elvis-looking outfits. At
I
that
remember
time.
that.
Right.
Yeah.
So they come
They were
out
cool.
of the dressing room, and there I am, and I got to meet Donny Osmond. I mean, this was huge.
Oh, yeah.
I go to school the next day, and I was a kid.
Guess who I hung out with?
Right. I was a kid who was picked on all the time as a kid. I was ugly. I was skinny. I had buck teeth.
I can't imagine you being
Please.
ugly.
It was terrible. And the problem I had was my mother looked like Ava Gabor.
Yes.
Okay. No, you know this because you've met my mom, right?
I have. She's a doll.
There's total proof of this. And
Yeah.
if she would come to school and bring my lunch, that was it for the whole week. Everybody would say, "What's wrong with you? Your mother's so pretty." So I really got picked on a lot by the kids, but Donny Osmond got me huge credibility. Right, that was a big deal. Everybody wanted to shake the hand.
You had a good year.
Well, I'd washed it 10 times already, but they still wanted to shake the hand that shook Donny Osmond's hand. I mean, this is huge.
Yeah.
So it was just fun, but you just that was just kind of what you did at that time. That was our childhood.
Speaking of your mom, this is how good looking she is. I saw a publicity photo of your mom and Sophia Loren together.
Yes.
It was at the racetrack, wasn't it?
When it was Raquel Welch.
Oh, I'm sorry,
that's
Raquel Welch.
And my mom and Raquel Welch,
That's
and
right.
my mom and her sisters and Raquel Welch all went to high school at the same time.
Oh, I
And
didn't
they
know
were
that.
in a few beauty pageants together.
Oh, okay.
And there's a picture of my mom at the Del Mar Fair. She and Raquel Welch were
That's
standing
right.
there next to a horse.
A publicity shot.
But the thing
wasn't
is, my mom didn't know they had it. And my mom went to the Del Mar Fair recently, and they said, Raquel Welch. My mom said, "That's me." And they said, "No." Now my mom said, "That's me. I'm telling you, that's me." Put my name there. And it was my mom. And she was probably 16 years
Wow.
old. But they did beauty pageants.
Yeah,
and
sure.
mostly my aunt. My aunt was
Sure.
older. She was fairest to the fair. She was Miss San Diego. She was beautiful,
Wow.
an actress and all that kind of stuff. So they did a singing act. And a couple of them modeled. Now, the funny story is my mom and her sisters filled in for Elvis. They opened for Elvis Presley.
You're kidding.
In 1956.
Wow.
Can we?
He was right.
Can we
he was
close it
right.
on this picture?
Yeah, sure.
Is it possible
sure.
to close it on this picture?
Oh, yeah,
I have to look for
absolutely.
it. I have a picture in my book of them opening for not the picture of them opening.
That's
but
not nothing. In 1956, he was Donny Osmond.
Well, that's
I mean, that's
the
how
thing.
popular
that's
he was.
the whole deal.
then.
So here's a picture. I don't know if you can. Should I hold it to this camera?
Sure,
Edit this
sure.
part out. Okay, so can you see my mom and her sisters and Elvis
And
right there?
Elvis. Oh, my
Okay,
Lord.
so my mom is 16 years old.
Yeah.
And her mother said, you're gonna open for Elvis Presley. And this is 56. So they
Yeah.
really didn't know who he was because he was just kind of starting out.
Yeah.
And my mom didn't know. And I asked her later, I said, well, what did you think of him? And they said, well, he was perfectly nice. He was a gentleman.
Yeah.
But we just thought he was weird looking because all the guys that they
He had
liked.
all that hair going on.
Right. All the guys they liked were the Beach Boy, Troy
yeah.
Donahue, that kind of look, right? So they had never seen a guy who looked like Elvis, but they said
Yeah.
he was perfectly nice.
Oh,
and they had a good time.
that's funny.
Isn't that funny? And so then a couple years after that,
Yeah.
I'm sure my mother was over 18, I hope. Hugh Hefner offered them $10,000 to pose for Playboy, the three of them.
Wow.
And they did
Wow.
not take it. Thank you.
Let's
They
hear
did
it
not
for
take
Mom.
Yes, let's hear it for Mom and her sisters.
Yeah.
But that's a lot of money back. You could buy a house with that kind of money
Yeah,
back then.
yeah.
And they turned it down. And I'm glad they did because
Yeah.
I have a friend, I happen to know a girl who did this years ago, was like Playmate of the Year. And
Right.
it never leaves you. You're
No, it's
always known
there.
as that.
And now with the internet,
Yeah.
all of that stuff
Yeah.
has been digitized. It's
Right.
all there forever.
Exactly.
And and I heard a young actress, God bless her for doing this. She's her mom's a good friend of mine, and she's a Christian girl, and she was offered a lot to be topless in a motion picture. She said she wouldn't do it, and they asked why, and she said, I don't want my kids to see that when I have children.
Right.
And that's the thing to look at.
Right.
Yeah.
You have to look at it down the road, and so I'm glad they didn't do it, but it was interesting.
You had one of the iconic jobs in Las Vegas, and we're going to talk about that in just a second. We're going to take a brief break. We'll be back with the famous and lovely Heidi Harris. Hello, I'm Dale Davidson. I hope you're enjoying Las Vegas tonight. The guests we've had on the program are wonderful examples of Christians who take seriously Christ's command to love one another. In addition to the hundreds of television stations across the United States now carrying our show, we have been presented with the outstanding opportunity to bring these inspiring stories to people around the world. An international satellite network in the Russian and Ukrainian languages has asked us to provide them with episodes to be broadcast to millions. To make a gift to support this very special effort, please send your check or money order to Dale Davidson Ministries, 9030 West Sahara Avenue, number 255, Las Vegas, Nevada, 89117. To use your credit or debit card, call 702-480-3989. Thank you, and God bless you.
Drawn by the lights, glamour, and opportunities in Sin City, they come from all over the world, searching for their chance to be a pretty woman, a success, or maybe just to have a better life. Be somebody. What happened after they got here is literally changing the world. From the story of Tommy Scott, a former gang enforcer turned Christian evangelist, to the Hookers for Jesus Outreach Ministry, to the heart-wrenching story of Arturo Martinez, and his heroic act of forgiving the man who assaulted and murdered his wife and 10-year-old daughter. Las Vegas Tonight presents an extraordinary depiction of Las Vegas as a city of transformation, from Sin City to Vegas Saints. Las Vegas Tonight, from Sin City to Vegas Saints, a collection of true stories of transformation, people whose lives were transformed, and people who are now transforming the world.
And welcome back to Las Vegas Tonight. I'm your host, Dale Davidson. We have a fantastic guest, Heidi Harris, who has recently written a brand new book called Don't Pat Me on the Head, which on the back says she is passionate, irreverent, and often controversial. Heidi Harris has taken a stand for her values and community throughout her career.
Wow, look at that.
Tell me about Don't Pat Me on the Head. Why that title?
You know what? I can't remember how I came up with the title, but I just thought this is something, especially women go, right.
We know what you mean.
Right. A friend of mine posted on...
Dear, that
exactly.
kind of thing. Yeah.
And listen, my dad was a cusser, okay?
Yeah.
He could drop the F-bombs. So I grew up kind of not directed at me, but just that was how he was.
Yeah.
So you can raise your voice, you can cuss at me, and I'll just meet your gaze or come back with something worse. But do not pat me on the head.
Yeah.
And I had a couple incidents over the course of my career where people verbally did this.
Yeah.
And I don't respond very well to that. And so that's not the focus of the entire book, but I just thought that was a catchy title. I don't remember how I came up with it. I was just kind of kicking titles around.
Yeah.
But I thought that's a fun title because that really kind of, and then of course the bottom of it is blowback, setbacks, and comebacks in Vegas radio.
Right.
Because you face blowback when you have an opinion, obviously.
Sure you do.
Setbacks,
sure you do.
Who hasn't?
Always.
We all have, right?
Always.
And then comebacks. You know, I have risen from the ashes more times than my detractors would like.
That's right.
Right, so it's all
She's
kind
finally gone, but she's not.
No, she's not. Like
she's
a
on
phoenix.
another station.
like
the
last,
next day.
Right, like the last scene of Carrie when the hand comes out of the grave. That's me sometimes, right? So I just, and that's all God. That's not me. That's all God's plan for my life.
Sure.
You know, God has kept me on this track when they have tried to, you know, burn me at the stake. Somehow God's managed to revive my career, even when I was willing to go other places. And I've been willing to go and do something else many times.
Oh, yeah.
And God continues to, it's like the worms in the bucket.
Brings you back.
Keep dragging me back into the bucket every time
I can get pulled back in.
I can't leave. I can't leave. So that's been a part of it too.
Yeah. Speaking of titles, tell us the title of your first book, which will lead us into the iconic job that you had in Las Vegas.
Yes, Cocktail Waitress Wisdom.
Yes.
That's a great book, Life Lessons Learned While Carrying a Tray in Las Vegas. And I wrote that because I spent many years as a cocktail waitress, and I wanted people to kind of see some life lessons that I carried into other jobs as a result of the many years I spent carrying a tray. And so people liked it. It was shorter. It was like kind of designed to be a gift shop kind of book.
Right.
And it had some just basic truths that I felt really helped a lot. So that's why I wrote
it toughened you up, right? Would you say?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It was funny.
Dealing with those guys.
Well, dealing with the
things.
girls and the barracudas.
Oh, yeah.
They'll slit your wrist or your throat if they get a chance. There was a funny incident that I had when I worked at a casino. This is after I got out of the cocktail waitressing. And I was working at a desk, finally got to be an administrative assistant, which is in this book. And so I'm sitting there, and then a girl comes in and she goes, "Oh, I just passed so-and-so in the hallway, and she didn't say hello." And I thought, wow, really? That's got you upset? I've worked with girls.
Just wait.
Yeah, I've worked with girls who don't speak to their children. I've worked with some really awful, nasty people who. And the thing about cocktail waitressing is when you do this job, you don't get to slam an office door the next day.
Yes.
You are working in a space no wider than we're sitting in.
Yes.
And you're going to be right next to her, hip to hip, the next day. So you better get over it.
At the bar.
You better get past it. And in Cocktail Waitress Wisdom, I talk a little bit about sexual harassment.
Yes.
Because nowadays, women are babies.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
If a guy catcalls, you're suing?
Or asks you out on a date.
Right. There's a story in Cocktail Waitress Wisdom where I talk about a guy I worked with who was a real jokester. He was happily married, but he just liked to do pranks. So I've got to try to explain this as best I can. So I'm at the poker table. I'm getting ready to hand somebody a drink. Well, the dealers, you know how there's one sitting, one standing behind?
Right.
So the dealer standing behind was my friend. And as I passed him with my tray, he stuck his hand out like this, right about crotch level. Okay, now I'm mad. Now,
just a little,
now you crossed the line.
Friendly gesture.
Now, and he was once again happily married, not hitting on me, but this was above and beyond. Okay.
Yes.
So I was just livid. So I'm shaking like a leaf. I go home. I regain my composure. I don't go to HR.
No.
Like a little girl.
Yes.
I don't go to the
file
bar.
a complaint.
Right.
Yeah.
Go home. And so the next day I come in, and I'm sitting in the back of the poker room, and he comes back there, and I said, "I'm only going to say this one time." I said, "If you ever do that again, I will pour my entire tray on you." Hot, cold, sticky, or otherwise, the entire tray.
And I will say, oops.
And then you can explain to the boss why you can't get in there and deal. And he started to speak. I said, no, don't speak. Don't speak. Don't speak. I'm only going to tell you this once.
Yes.
And so a couple of months later, he listened to me. A couple of months later, he had one of those fake arms people have outside of their trunk.
Oh, yeah, hanging out of the trunk.
And he had it in his hand, and he kind of went like this, and I happened to have a bottle of milk in my hand, and I poured it all over his arm. So
See, I told you, and you did it anyway.
Yes, if you're going to work in an environment where you're going to work with men, you're going to have to deal with it, and they're not pigs. It's banter.
Yeah.
This is how they talk.
Right.
I walked into work one day and a guy said, and I'm not saying this is okay at the bank, okay, please understand, but we're in a bar. We're wearing something up to here, okay, and fishnets, for heaven's sake. Don't take yourself so seriously. I walked in one day and the bartender said, "Oh, I had a dream about you last night." And I said, "Yeah, how much do you owe me?" And he said,
that's the best.
And he said, "Oh, about $250. And I said, so we laughed and we started our day. That was the way it was back then.
Right.
You joked around. Nobody, if they pushed it, like my friend did, then you handled it.
Right.
And I have a chapter in the first book, Cocktail Waitress Wisdom, that your daddy can't go to work with you.
Yeah.
And we have a bunch of women now who can't handle anything. And sexual harassment in the workplace is nothing more than adult bullying.
Right.
And if you come back at them and either you can joke with them,
right,
when it's appropriate to, cute. Or if they push it,
come
then
back
you
on
have
top.
to. Right, it's like a cat. You pet a cat, and sometimes they'll put up with a certain amount,
then
and they start to make that noise.
Yeah.
And now you've pushed it too far, and they're gonna make their limit. Right, they're gonna lay the line down.
Right.
And it's the same in the office. There's stuff that you'll banter that you have no problem with.
Right.
And then there's stuff beyond that. And if you're somebody who can't take a joke from a guy, then you're going to have real problems in your occupation, and filing a complaint with HR is not going to solve the problem.
Right.
And so I think women are becoming babies where they don't understand, they can't handle anything a guy says to them, and so easily, so often, You can handle it with one quick comment.
Yeah, and men are getting nervous.
They're getting very nervous.
You
There was
know?
a guy who came in one time to the poker room. He was a new one. I had mostly locals.
Right.
He came in, and when you're dealing poker or you're handing somebody a drink, you have to tap them on the shoulder, let them know you're coming in.
Yeah.
Because they might make a
Yeah,
bet or
they
something.
might, yeah.
Right. So I tapped the guy on the shoulder. He's a new guy. Tap him on the shoulder, and to put the drink in, and he goes, "Oh, you do that again? I'll give you an extra quarter." You got to understand, the rest of my table.
They're all going, ooh,
They
he's
were-
asking for
That's
it.
exactly right. They all looked at him, and they looked at me, and they thought, "Buddy, you have no idea. You have no idea."
What you just did.
Exactly. What did you just do? So I'll give you an extra quarter. And they all looked at him, and I said, "Ooh, let me get my broker on the phone."
That's the best way to handle this
And the
kind
guy
of stuff.
just went.
That's hilarious.
So my point, but you got to be sarcastic in that job. And once
Yeah.
again, I'm not saying this is every job. But there are women who just don't know, they don't really like men necessarily.
Yeah.
They don't know how to handle them. I love being in a room full of men.
Yeah.
Give me poker, don't give me bingo. Okay?
right.
And,
They're too busy to look up.
Oh my
They're
gosh.
no fun.
All the women complaining about, no. I'd rather work poker. I chose to work poker. So I like
Yeah.
being around them. They're a lot of fun. But you've got to be able to banter with them. And most of the time it means absolutely nothing. Now, in fairness, I've never had anybody say, "Sleep with me or you're fired." I've never had that happen to me.
That's a different thing.
In the casino industry,
Right.
in radio, any of that. I've never had that
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah.
But and that's legitimate. If a
Yeah.
casino boss or somebody knows that you have 5 kids to support and you're a single mom and you
Yes.
need this job, I mean, that's just that's reprehensible.
Yeah.
That should be punished.
That's an ugly thing.
That's a whole
Yeah.
different story.
Yeah. You're an accomplished singer. Tell me how you decided, you looked up one day and said, I can do that.
I did.
I mean, here you're working the floor, right?
Right.
And then this is a step up in status.
Yeah,
anyway.
my mom tells stories about me being a little kid in my high chair. My mom was a singer.
Right.
And I would be in my high chair and I would sing more than the greatest love. And she said I would sing it perfectly in my high chair. And she said, here's the crazy part. Of course, she doesn't have this on tape. She would say, when you'd get too high, she said you would drop a perfect octave and never change key.
Really?
And she said, and you would do this in
Wow.
your high chair.
Wow.
Of course, it's before the internet and YouTube, right? So
I wish we did have
right.
that,
I
yeah.
could always sing, but so could my mom, so could my brother, so could, it was not a big deal.
You
Nobody
figured
made it.
that's what people do.
Everybody
in
could
my
sing, right?
family.
Nobody
Yeah.
makes a fuss over it. Nobody went,
Right.
"Oh, you're so great." And so I could do it, and I just took for granted that I could do it.
Right.
And I never thought about doing anything beyond that. And then when I got older, and I worked in the casino, and I'd walk by these lounges, and I'd say, I'm no Celine, but I'm better than her.
Yes.
If she can do that, I can do it. And so I decided to give it a shot, just to get it out of my system. I knew that I wasn't going to be a big celebrity. I was over 30.
Yeah.
I don't write. I'm not gorgeous. I'm not a great musician. There's nothing special about me that would have made me a big star. I knew that. But I thought, I can do some lounge singing. I can provide background music or whatever for people.
Sure.
And so I proceeded to do that for the next 6 years. And I talk a little bit in the book about how I got into doing that,
Yeah.
getting the equipment that I needed, realizing you could do sequences and all that
Yeah.
kind of stuff, finding out about all that.
And you had CDs, didn't you?
Well, no, I never did CDs, but
No, no.
I started out as a single act, with a
Oh,
sequenced
okay.
keyboard, and then I
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
joined a band for a few years, and then I got done. I mean, one of the most fun things we did is we went to Bosnia, entertained the troops.
Wow.
And that was a
That's
lot of fun.
great.
Did a tour from the Department of Defense.
Wow.
That was a lot of fun. So we had a good time with it, but
Yeah.
I wanted to do it, say I'd done it, have fun with it, and then move on.
And you did move on to a terrific career
Yeah.
of political opinion. We're going to get to that in just a minute and talk about the most recent episode of political correctness.
Oh, boy.
And you're semi-famous now all across the world over this particular episode.
Yeah, just Google me.
We'll be back with Heidi Harris right after these messages.
A potential audience of more than 50 million people is reached every week by Las Vegas Tonight. To keep the important message of Christ's love on the air, we need your prayers and financial blessings. Please send your tax-deductible gift to Dale Davidson Ministries, 9030 West Sahara Avenue, number 255, Las Vegas, Nevada, 89117. For a donation of $25 or more, we'll send you a copy of Dale Davidson's new book, Las Vegas Tonight, From Sin City to Vegas Saints. You'll love these inspiring stories of Las Vegas Christians who are changing the world. Or donate to the ministry, or order Dale's book by going to vegassaints.org. That's vegassaints.org. Or call us today at 702-480-3989. That's 480-3989. God bless you. Drawn by the lights, glamour, and opportunities in Sin City, they come from all over the world, searching for their chance to be a pretty woman, a success, or maybe just to have a better life. Be somebody. What happened after they got here is literally changing the world. From the story of Tommy Scott, a former gang enforcer turned Christian evangelist, to the Hookers for Jesus Outreach Ministry, to the heart-wrenching story of Arturo Martinez and his heroic act of forgiving the man who assaulted and murdered his wife and 10-year-old daughter. Las Vegas Tonight presents an extraordinary depiction of Las Vegas as a city of transformation, from Sin City to Vegas Saints. Las Vegas Tonight, from Sin City to Vegas Saints, a collection of true stories of transformation, people whose lives were transformed, and people who are now transforming the world.
Welcome back to Las Vegas Tonight, and our wonderful guest, Heidi Harris, who wrote this terrific book, Don't Pat Me on the Head, the backstory of how she lucked into a radio show and survived the twists and turns in her career. And you do not want to pat her on the head.
The reason I say that I lucked into a radio show, and I have a chapter on that in the book, is because I had a caller call the show one time, and he said, "You got lucky. Somebody gave you a radio show." Yeah, they did. You're right.
It's
you
really
caught me.
easy. Yeah.
Right. So I kind of chronicle how I started in the middle of the night for free, working my way up and all of that, and that's in there.
Yeah, I remember when I was doing a talk show in Tucson, Arizona. I went to my agent's office, my commercial agent, who was giving me some work, and there was another actor there, and he said, "Could you get me a job over there? I'm a good BSer." I said, "Oh, is that all there is to it?" Okay, that's good to know.
Well, thank you very much for your respect for the industry. Oh, wow, that's funny. Isn't that true, though? People you'll meet them and they have a great voice.
Yeah,
and they
that's
think,
enough.
I have a great voice.
Yeah.
And the first time I talked to my boss, who gave me the first paying job I had, I remember, and I'm not a good salesperson. I'm not good at selling myself. But I sat there with him and I said, "Listen, I don't have a great radio voice. Right. I don't have a broadcasting degree, okay? But I'm not boring." And I've heard a lot of these guys who say, whatever, and they're boring.
Yeah,
no one wants to hear them. I said, "So at least I'm not boring."
Yeah.
So
you're totally not
apparently
boring,
he liked
Heidi
that, so I don't know.
Speaking of opinions and the like, let's talk about the most recent blowback in your career.
Yeah.
You made what I think is a completely legitimate comment on social media. Why don't you just set it up?
Well, what happened is I saw an ad that had run in the RJ several times for
Review Journal here in Las Vegas.
For the Clark County Family Services, and they were talking about foster parents. Mm-hmm. And there were several pictures in the thing. And there was one that kept popping up with two men and a baby.
Right.
And I just went crazy. I said, this is, nobody's saying that gay people can't raise children. Most kids in foster care are there because of straight people, right? Let's be honest. So I never said that.
That's
but
true.
I got tired of them trying to normalize it. And I have friends who are adoptive parents of foster kids.
Right.
When you've got a baby, they're much easier to place than an older child.
Sure.
And it seems to me that a child deserves a mom and a dad. That's all I said. And I said, this is not normal. It may be normal for you. And when I say that, I know plenty of gay people who have always felt gay. I can't address that. I'm not gay. But they've never felt the urge any other direction, okay?
Right.
So when I say that's normal for you, I mean that's all they know, all right?
Okay.
But I said, but it's not normal for children because kids need a mom and a dad in an ideal world. I was very specific about not saying kids shouldn't be.
And if it's not, if you can't have the ideal situation, then go another way.
Right. I never said gay people can't raise kids. I would take kids out of gay people's homes. I never said any of that. But what happened was that screenshot got grabbed, and I just put it on Facebook as a real quick thing. I was getting on a plane. I threw it up there thinking nothing of it because I'd said the same thing about single women who intentionally have children without fathers. And I've had women tangle with me on Facebook and say, kids don't need fathers. How dare you? Yes. How dare you make that decision for your child? Right. Now, that doesn't mean that as a single mom you can't do a great job, or a single dad.
Right, sure.
No one's saying that. No one has ever said that. But ideally, the first thing you think about when you have a child is, can I provide what my child needs, which is a family, not a fancy crib, a family.
Right, sure.
And so that should be a first consideration. So people were coming after me, people who've never listened to my show, just coming after me.
I mean, there was a firestorm.
Oh, it was a
Over
firestorm,
this. Yeah.
a huge firestorm, because people who've never, you know, every Freddie Mercury wannabe in a tank top with their profile picture, Freddie Mercury, remember Queen, was showing up on my Facebook page trashing me, saying things I couldn't possibly repeat.
Right.
And just because I shared an opinion.
Right.
The tolerant people couldn't tolerate my opinion and just go, so she said it, so I disagree. Let's leave it. They can't handle that.
No.
And this is the militant, folks. This is not everybody, all right?
Right.
One of my friends, who's a radio host in Los Angeles, one of the most talented people I know, one of my favorites in the business, gay guy.
Yeah.
So gay, he's got a house in Palm Springs. That's how gay he is, okay? He's got the gay card,
For
okay?
those of you in Palm Springs, it's okay.
No, but it's a huge population of gay people, which is fine. What do I care? But I love this guy, okay? And he sends me a note. He says, what's the controversy? Kids need a mom and a dad.
Yeah.
This is from this guy. So this isn't all gay people. This is the militant wing, okay?
Yes.
So finally I called my boss. You know my boss. I called him and I said, there's a little bit of a dust up. You might just want to let you know. So
It's coming.
This is on Sunday.
Yeah.
I figured it was no big deal. Nobody would care.
It's going to blow over.
So Monday morning I come into work and my boss says to me, I was on the phone with corporate and legal till 1 o'clock in the morning.
Well, there you go.
There you go. There's the sword of Damocles. I'm done. I'm done here. So my boss said...
It may not be in the next 60 seconds, but it'll be soon.
Exactly. Well, they wanted me off the air that day.
Oh, did they?
But my boss had no one to replace me. He goes, I cannot replace her at this point, this short notice.
Right.
So I did the show, sword of Damocles hanging over my head, knowing it was my last show. We know the business, how it goes.
Right, yeah.
So that after the show,
you were a professional. You didn't go after him.
No, I did not go after him.
Yeah.
So the next day, I came in for a meeting, and the GM just said, we're going to go a different direction. He would never admit that's why he got rid of me.
They always say that.
It's so gutless. And here's the thing.
What a coincidence.
Yeah, and 3 weeks later, he was fired. Oh, well, I don't dance on graves, do I? No, I don't. And I don't wish him any ill. Listen, they made a decision they have every right to make.
Right.
4 months it took them to try to replace me. I mean, they had nobody in the wings.
They auditioned everybody.
Everybody in the world. And they replaced me with a gay liberal. And that, well, at least they're consistent. No, I wish them no ill. They have every right to do it.
Right.
One of the things that my detractors were hoping I would do was whine and complain. Like
you didn't at all.
No, like Kathy Griffin. Oh, it's censorship. No, it's not censorship. When Kathy Griffin got kicked off CNN, and I put a chapter in my book about that very topic.
Yeah.
When she was kicked off CNN, she wasn't censored. Go ahead, tweet in your pajamas on New Year's Eve, honey. No one's stopping you. CNN's just not going to pay you.
Yeah,
so I was not censored. It wasn't a free speech issue. Your employer doesn't have an obligation to protect your free speech. Think of the people who were caught on social media at right-wing rallies, white supremacist rallies.
Right.
Now, would you?
They got Zoomed.
Would you want to work with that guy on Monday morning? No, you wouldn't.
Right.
So businesses need to have the right to say, this isn't what we want here. Now, we could argue all day about how gutless it was, how the people who attacked my advertisers never advertised on my station anyway.
Yeah, I want to talk about that.
Yeah, so that
too.
didn't mean anything. But the point is, a company has a right to decide who they want to have in their employ, and they made that decision.
Well, first off, you were paid to have opinions.
Right.
Secondly, you were working on a conservative radio station.
And I've said that same thing before, and that's what my boss said. My boss said, you've said this before. He wasn't even worried.
Yeah.
I know.
And this thing about going after advertisers. Okay, so we all have a right to write a letter to an advertiser saying, I disagree with this person and you have spots and so on and so on and so on. But it's really dirty pool to go after the sister stations that had nothing to do with it.
Right, that's the problem, because as I understand it, because I was not in the room, as I understand it, one of the biggest ad agencies in town went after the FMs and pulled or threatened to pull money. And the problem with that is obvious, as you mentioned, they were innocent. Not to mention the fact that the people who sell the FM stations, the people who are on the FM stations, are all liberals. None of them agreed with what I said.
Right.
And yet you're punishing them. But that's the slash and burn tactic that a lot of these folks try to implement, and that's unfortunate because that shouldn't be the case. And one of my friends who was an ad executive who had made me a lot of money at the station, she called me, I can't believe you said that. I go, whoa, wait a minute here, sister. I'm not costing you any money. They could have tolerated my opinion, ignored my opinion, and gone on with their life. They're the ones going after your wallet, not me.
Yeah.
You know,
and media, see, the separation between sales and content cuts both ways.
Right.
And the newspapers actually, to give them credit, have done a better job of maintaining that wall. to say to the advertisers, yeah, this person we pay to have opinions, this commentator, this writer, whomever it is, our publisher who writes his own personal letter, whatever it happens to be, we protect his or her right to their opinion. We're sorry, and if you want to take your advertising away, that's fine, but you need to understand that we're not going to change our policy. Now, I think if they had had the guts to do that, the advertisers would have come back.
They probably would have come back. And then I had another incident where I was going to do a book signing with the local advertiser.
Oh, yeah, I can't believe
I know,
this
and this advertiser was a huge fan of mine.
Right.
This advertiser couldn't wait to rag on my station. Where's free speech, man? I mean, he was all over them.
Yeah.
And then when my book signing was planned, apparently a couple of gay customers of his, now by the way, this is not a gay hangout. I've never seen a couple who look gay in this place. I see a bunch of 65-year-old white people walking in there eating, and not that you can be any race, and you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I've never seen gay clientele who look gay to me in there. It's mostly older couples walking in.
Right.
Opposite sex couples, I should clarify. So anyway, I don't know who complained, but he had a couple of people who said he complained. Okay, whatever. So he texts me.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
so he's going to cancel the book signing. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not going to rag on him. I'm not going to rag on him here by name. I did not rag on him on my Facebook page. But I did let my listeners know that it had been canceled and why. I wasn't going to cover for him.
Yeah,
I wasn't going to rag on him, but I wasn't going to
Right.
go, oh, well, there was a conflict. No, there's no conflict.
Yeah.
You backed up. And this is the last guy I thought would do this.
Yeah.
So here's the reason I'm telling you this. Last I checked, over 4,000 people had seen my thread about this advertiser.
Really?
Hundreds of people, hundreds have said they will
cuts
never.
the other way.
That's right. They said they'll never go back. For example, I had a listener who works at a medical imaging place about a mile from there.
Yeah.
And he said he would send 20 people a week there for lunch.
Wow.
I said, not anymore.
No.
And whenever you don't when you send somebody there who's new, they don't go back, they don't tell anybody else. So I don't know how much business they've lost, and I feel bad because they're nice people who work there.
Right.
This is a choice you made.
Just lost their courage.
Right, my company made a business decision.
Right.
Now you've made a business decision. Now my listeners have made a business decision to
Right.
never go back to your place again.
Right.
That's what happens. And
Right.
and I never called for a boycott.
Right.
I never told people to do that. And I said, if you're going to call, be nice. Don't be rude to the people. But this is what you get when you're going to go after, because this particular restaurant was full of people who like what I do. And this
Right.
guy had a Trump sign, and these are mostly conservative people.
Right.
This is not a gay hangout that I wanted to do a book signing in.
Right,
And
yeah,
even so,
yeah.
nobody's tying you to a chair for my book signing. And this book isn't even about gay people. It's not a political book.
No.
And there was there have been protests at these conservative colleges or regular colleges because conservative speakers want to come in.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Nobody's tying you.
Riots, not
Right.
protests, riots. over this.
Exactly.
Yeah,
If you don't like
yeah.
it, go to the bar, go to the library. No one's forcing you to watch this person. This is how scary it is that
I
you
know.
can't just accept another person's point of view. Real quickly, I want to mention, and this is in the book, I got an email from somebody when this whole thing happened.
Right.
And he said, I shouldn't suffer hatred and bigotry because of who I love. Now, I'm assuming
That's a common line.
Yeah, I'm assuming this is a snowflake age, right? And I emailed him back and I said, you have no right to that. When you walk out the door of your house, gay, straight, or otherwise,
People are going to disagree.
right, they're going to have an opinion on
Yeah.
what you wear, what
Yeah.
you weigh, what you eat, what you drive, who you date, gay or straight. No one has a right to live in a world where everybody salutes you
Yeah.
every minute of the day, no matter
Yeah.
what, whether it's being gay or not.
Yes.
Somebody's not going to agree with what you do. You're a
Sure.
hunter. Oh, that's horrible. You're not a hunter. Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah.
Whatever it might be.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so I pointed that out to him. But here's the scary thing for media when it comes to this person.
Yeah.
I'm guessing he's pretty young. So when you look at what's happening in our media and you look at this group of people as a demographic, once they leave their parents' house, if they ever do, they're going to become a huge...
Leave the basement.
Right, once they leave the basement, they will be a huge...
Sorry, millennials.
It's true. And it's not true of all of them, but
No,
it's
no,
true
it's
of a
not.
lot of them.
Yeah.
Who've never actually been out there. So once they get out into the world and start really consuming things, advertisers are going to kowtow to them. They want to live in a world where no one challenges their assumptions about anything.
That's not good for our country.
It's not good for our country,
Yeah.
and the advertisers are going to
Yeah.
fall over themselves trying to appease these people, which is also bad for our country.
That's it. We need to take another brief break. When we come back, I want to give you an opportunity to talk about how people can get in touch with
Okay.
you. But let's spend a few minutes on your personal faith.
Okay.
We'll be back with the fascinating and lovely Heidi Harris right after this.
A potential audience of more than 50 million people is reached every week by Las Vegas Tonight. To keep the important message of Christ's love on the air, we need your prayers and financial blessings. Please send your tax-deductible gift to Dale Davidson Ministries, 9030 West Sahara Avenue, number 255, Las Vegas, Nevada, 89117. For a donation of $25 or more, we'll send you a copy of Dale Davidson's new book, Las Vegas Tonight, From Sin City to Vegas Saints. You'll love these inspiring stories of Las Vegas Christians who are changing the world. Or donate to the ministry, or order Dale's book by going to vegassaints.org. That's vegassaints.org. Or call us today at 702-480-3989. That's 480-3989. God bless you. Drawn by the lights, glamour, and opportunities in Sin City, they come from all over the world, searching for their chance to be a pretty woman, a success, or maybe just to have a better life. Be somebody. What happened after they got here is literally changing the world. From the story of Tommy Scott, a former gang enforcer turned Christian evangelist, to the Hookers for Jesus Outreach Ministry, to the heart-wrenching story of Arturo Martinez and his heroic act of forgiving the man who assaulted and murdered his wife and 10-year-old daughter. Las Vegas Tonight presents an extraordinary depiction of Las Vegas as a city of transformation, from Sin City to Vegas Saints. Las Vegas Tonight, From Sin City to Vegas Saints, a collection of true stories of transformation, people whose lives were transformed, and people who are now transforming the world.
And welcome back to Las Vegas Tonight. Here's a copy of the book by Heidi Harris, which you can get on Amazon.com.
Amazon.com. And it's in Kindle.
And Kindle?
And Kindle.
Oh,
Look
that's
at that.
Awesome. That's awesome. Are you going to record it?
I have started to.
Yeah.
It's a laborious process. Have you ever recorded an audiobook?
No, I never have. No.
If you can't get a chance, avoid it.
I will.
And here's the funny thing.
It's a lot of copy.
For you and me who are media people,
Yeah, that's
you'd think
right.
it'd be fun. It's torture. It's torture.
Right.
So I started doing it, and I have the stuff all recorded.
Yeah.
And then I started listening to it. I have all these breaths in it that I wanted to take out, and then the speed.
It's going to take forever.
Then the speed got messed up, and it's terrible. So it'll be a while.
But watch for it.
Yeah.
Listen for it. Eventually
when
it'll
I sit
be
down
there.
and do it for a couple of days. Yeah.
Your faith, your Christian faith, informs your opinions and your life.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about your background in your faith, how you came to Christ, and really how it directs your life, because I think our viewers would really be interested in that.
Well, I've been a Christian since I was 21.
Wow.
A guy I was dating at the time took me to church, practically dragged me, and I
God
went.
bless him.
Yeah, God bless him. And it was interesting because I remember the very first time I was at church, they were talking about the rocky soil, the different soil, and all of that. Matthew, right? Matthew. And I went, what? What's he talking about? And I didn't really know. We had Bibles in the house when I was a kid. We weren't anti-Christian or anything, but I didn't really get the
part of your life.
I didn't get the gospel message when I was a kid, right? And so it started to make sense to me. I wasn't one of those people who thought, I once was lost, but now I'm found. That's not how I approached it.
Right.
It started to make sense to me.
Yeah.
And then I don't know.
It was an intellectual understanding.
Right, correct.
Okay. Right.
And I don't remember the day I actually believed in Christ, but it was sometime in that pretty quickly after I started going to the church. And
Right.
so I'll always be grateful to him. He's now married to a friend of mine, thank God,
that's
which is good.
nice.
Better her than me, right? He's a good guy. He's a good guy, which is wrong for me. So anyway, so that's how I became a Christian. And the way that it affects my career and my life, especially in this, where you get kicked around a lot, and we've all been in media.
Sure.
The way it affects my life is I know that God's got it. And when this whole thing happened and I lost my job, it was a pretty good job. I got paid pretty well, and it was a good job. Now,
It was a big job here in town.
Yeah, it was a big job. It was pretty much one of the most high-profile radio shows in town. And if I had been married to
The
somebody,
top-rated radio show, by the way.
and on the best station, and so it's a big deal. The press was all anxious, and that's why my detractors were so disappointed that I wasn't in the fetal position. Oh,
Whining, poor me.
but why I'm not in the fetal position? Because of God. I know that God's got it. It wasn't like they caught me in bed with a senator or something.
Yeah.
In all the years that I was on the radio, which was 19 years to the day.
Wow.
Since I first started. Now I do a podcast, and we'll get to that, I know. But when I was on, all the years I was on the radio, I was never sued for slander. I never said
That's
anything.
unheard of,
Yeah,
by the
I'm
way.
irresponsible. I mean, I'm a little bit opinionated, but I'm not irresponsible. I don't slander people.
Right.
So when I did get fired, because it wasn't anything I'd done, no moral breach or anything, no illegal thing.
Right.
My husband just, you know what? We'll figure it out. You know, God's got
Yeah,
it. You have
yeah.
either you believe that God has it, or you don't believe God has it. And you
Right.
don't look at your bank account and go, oh, I believe God. I kind of believe God has it, but I'm not real sure. We've all been through it. No
Right.
matter what your situation may be,
Right,
whether
yeah.
it's a medical issue people have or
Sure,
a family
sure.
issue,
Yeah.
either God has it or he doesn't have it. And you don't stop believing that when times get tough. So, you know, my husband's a man of God, and he's been okay with this. And this wasn't what I planned. I had planned to do radio probably about another year,
Right.
so that I could finish this book, sell this book, and then I really did want to get out of it because
And do something else.
I've been very burned out on it.
Yeah,
You know, the constant
yeah.
looking at your phone, the constant worrying about what Trump did today, all of that.
Not to mention getting up at 2 in.
Yeah, I was tired of getting up at 2 in the
Yeah,
morning and living
yeah.
on naps and Excedrin. I was. I loved the
Yeah.
people I worked with, though. I liked the job, but
Right.
interestingly, I haven't missed it. Not one
interesting.
day.
Yeah.
Now, the day that the shooting happened, the October 1st shooting,
Right.
clearly that was a day it would have been nice to be on the air. But what happened was I woke up at 2 in the morning, my phone is dinging, dinging, dinging. So I see what's going on. I grab my laptop, I let my friends know in Florida and New York. I was on the air somewhere from 4 o'clock in the morning until 8:30 at night on cable, on radio stations from Seattle to New York
Right,
to Florida to
right.
Texas. Everybody was having me on. So I
Right.
was having a lot better impact doing that than I've been doing a local show. And I was able to refute some of the stupid things that were being said on cable TV about
Right.
Vegas security. You know, it's
Right,
like they
yeah.
drag a $100 bill through the lounge and come up with all these guys who are security experts, and they were trashing our hotel security,
Right.
and they were saying, oh, we need to have, you know, gun checks at every entrance. Have you been to Las Vegas? Every
Yeah.
hotel is 4. How do you do that? So that gave me
Yeah.
a good opportunity to talk about it from a different perspective. So I have not missed it at all.
Right.
And I'm enjoying podcasting, and we'll see what God wants to do with me. But I had planned to do another year. I hadn't planned to be fired, so I had to add that chapter to the book and a chapter about the Las
Good.
Vegas massacre.
Yeah.
So that it
Yeah.
worked, but you know, God works everything for good.
Yes.
And he does. And I stood up for what I believe is biblical truth. And when you do that, you know, God's going to look out for you.
You did make a foray into Christian radio.
Yeah, I did.
I'll let you decide how much you want to say about that experience, but you went to the number 2 market in the United States.
Yes.
It was a huge step. You were treated as a star initially.
For a week.
Yeah.
For 2 weeks.
Yeah, and I was there when that was going on,
Right.
and you had billboards in everywhere around the city, and a beautiful shot of you, by the way. And then it kind of went south. Do you want to talk about it at all?
Well, I was recruited to work in Los Angeles by somebody who had heard my show, because at the time I worked in a station in Las Vegas that had a huge signal.
Right.
And before the sun came up, you could hear it in like 12 states or something. So he would hear me on his way to work driving into Los Angeles. And he emailed me, and he really liked what I did, this and that. And then they had me moderate their town hall, this big event that they do every year. Or like
Okay.
they have like 1,100 people pile into this place. And it was funny because I didn't know anybody. This is the kind of place where in Vegas I walk out, they know me. In LA, they didn't know me. So Ann Coulter was one of the speakers. So I walk out first, we've got a room full of people. And I said, don't worry, I know I'm not the blonde you're waiting for. She's right back there. Now they love me. Now they love me. Now they're applauding. All right, I got him. Perfect. Yes. So it was a lot of fun. So that was kind of an audition of sorts. So I got the job, and
Right.
I was hired to do a solo show because that's what I've been doing for 5 years.
Right.
And to make a long story short, they brought in another executive who I'd known in the industry forever,
Right.
who only hears one kind of radio. If you're not doing Hannity or Levin, and no slam to those guys,
Right.
but if you're not doing that, you're not doing radio.
Oh, wow.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that was it, you know, and I can do the Drudge Report, but that's not what they hired me for. And the first guy said,
And that's not your strength. I mean, you're relatable, and you talk
Right.
about your life and your dogs and
Right.
and all of that sort of thing.
Right.
And that human connection is what's made you popular.
Yeah, well, thank you for that. Let me give you a funny story about that. I did mention to the big boss, the new boss. I said, now let me get this straight. So if I'm up all night with my dying dog, which she was older, which is much
Right.
more relatable
Sure.
than anything on the Drudge
Yeah.
Report, that's not a topic. He goes, right.
And then you
I
went,
thought,
oh, I'm not going to be here
when
long.
what's my contract over? I had to wait it out. And I'll tell you one other funny story. It's in the book.
Yeah.
So when this tells you everything you need to know about them. And by the way, let me preface this by saying, any company has the right to do whatever they want to.
They do, yeah,
with their signal, with their show.
Right.
What I would like to have had them do is say, we wanted a soprano, but you're a rock singer. We changed our mind. And write me a check and send me away. I would have been a little insulted, but I would have gotten over it.
Yeah, we changed our mind.
Exactly. But instead, they wanted to torment me and get me out of there. And they were paying me twice as much as the guys were making. Equal pay. Forget it. I had made more than the guys in this town for 10 years.
The big
I don't want
bucks.
equal pay. That's
She
right.
got the big bucks.
So I was making the money, and then they added people to the show, which was not the original plan, and they were
Right.
making half of what I was making.
Right.
I know that because they talked about what they made. I never told them.
Yeah.
So they wanted to get rid of me because they thought they could get my money. Anyway, so here's a funny story. So remember the space shuttle that was built in Southern California?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Okay, that
Sure,
one.
yeah, that
People
was
in
a big day.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and it
yeah.
flew in on a plane, and I don't care about space stuff, I got to be honest. But everybody in LA did.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it's flying over our heads, literally over our heads. And so I get the news guy on at like 6 for 5 minutes. And again at 8
And he
o'clock.
talks about the show.
Yeah, when can we when can we see it? How big a deal is this for the
Right, yeah.
right. Okay.
It's huge.
Right, it's huge. So did I mention 10 minutes of a 3-hour show?
You did.
Okay, I did. Okay. So then later that day, I'm talking to my boss. He calls me. I'm driving out to meet you, as a matter of fact, for a dinner.
Oh, that's right. I remember
yes,
that.
I was
yeah.
driving out to meet you for a media fellowship dinner. And he calls me, and we're talking, and he says, oh, and by the way, there was dissension among the higher-ups as to whether the space shuttle was a legitimate topic.
Oh, jeez.
And I'm waiting for Rod Serling and the cigarette. I go, no, really, I am in the Twilight Zone.
The Twilight Zone.
Exactly. I'm looking over like Rod Serling's got to be sitting in his chair next to me, because you didn't just say that. The space shuttle is not a legitimate topic when it's flying over our head, and everybody who could possibly
You can't avoid seeing it or hearing it.
Yes, and everyone who could possibly leave their house is standing outside watching this thing fly over, and you don't think we should talk about it because we should get back to bashing Obama.
Yeah, yeah.
And so, listen, once again, they have the right to do whatever they want to do.
Sure they do.
But
Yeah.
why have a local host if you don't want to do that? Just
Right.
put in syndication and call it a day.
Yeah.
Just get someone to do Drudge Report and not anything relatable, and that's all.
Right.
But I can do the Drudge, but I stopped doing that years ago because
Sure.
that's what you do when you start.
Oh, yeah.
But then you
Yeah.
realize that's not where the world lives.
Yeah.
And then you get out into the real world and you go do things and you see things, and that's what you talk about. Whether you talk about, I had a great topic one time. I found out somebody had drowned in my pool. Years before I owned the house.
Yeah.
You talk about calls? Oh my
yeah,
gosh,
yeah.
everybody had a story.
Sure,
So that kind of stuff is far more relatable. And not only that, nowadays, you can read the Drudge Report on your phone. You do not need me to do that for you.
Somebody to read it for you.
Yeah, I know Slam the Drudge, but come on.
Yeah.
Everybody knows all that.
Yeah.
Talk about something that they don't know. Talk about something
Yeah.
they can participate in or have a new take
And
on
give
it.
them a chance.
Give them a chance, or at
Yeah.
least have a new take.
Share the airtime.
Exactly right.
All of that.
Exactly right.
Let's take a couple of minutes, if you don't mind, and let people know how to get in touch with you.
Okay.
Tell them all about the podcast, which is
Okay.
a great podcast.
Thank you
folks.
very
So,
much. Heidi
go
Harris
ahead.
Show Podcast.
There you go.
The book, Don't Pat Me on the Head. Available at Amazon.com.
Da-da-da-da.
Da-da-da-da. The Heidi Harris Show Podcast. It's on iTunes and all that kind of stuff. And if you're not a podcaster, and if you're somebody who says, I don't know how to do that, don't worry. HeidiHarris.com. I post them all on my website so you can listen to them.
Oh, they're all archived.
Yeah,
Oh,
HeidiHarris.com. I've also been digging through my old interviews, and I've been posting them on the HeidiHarris.com website.
Oh,
like Henry
okay.
Hill from Goodfellas.
Oh, yeah.
I interviewed him before he passed away.
Yeah,
I got a chance
yeah.
to talk to Fraser Heston a couple months ago,
Okay.
Charlton Heston's son.
Oh, okay.
What a great guy he is.
Yeah.
Posted that. A girl I know who used to be a stripper who is now tries to get girls out of there for Jesus.
Yeah.
Got a conversation with her.
Okay.
And some people, things like that. I've been pulling some archives. I had a conversation a few years back with a couple of POWs who were held in the Hanoi Hilton for 7 and 5 years respectively.
Wow.
Talked to them, powerful stuff.
Yeah.
And so I've been pulling those and putting them on the website. So HeidiHarris.com, all my social media.
HeidiHarris.com.
HeidiHarris.com.
There you
All my
go.
social media is up there. So.
That's great. Thank you for coming on the
Thank
show.
you for asking me.
Promise me you'll come back.
I
I'll
will.
let you go this time if you promise to come back.
I will promise to come back because you're always so much fun.
Thank you, Heidi. And the audience all over the world has now fallen in love with Heidi Harris.
Let's hope so.
Thank you. God bless you.
Thanks.
Heidi Harris on Las Vegas Tonight. Thank you so much for tuning in here and around the world. And as I say at the close of every show, when it comes to Jesus, please walk with him. God bless you.
Drawn by the lights, glamour, and opportunities in Sin City, they come from all over the world, searching for their chance to be a pretty woman, a success, or maybe just to have a better life. Be somebody. What happened after they got here is literally changing the world. From the story of Tommy Scott, a former gang enforcer turned Christian evangelist, to the Hookers for Jesus Outreach Ministry, to the heart-wrenching story of Arturo Martinez and his heroic act of forgiving the man who assaulted and murdered his wife and 10-year-old daughter. Las Vegas Tonight presents an extraordinary depiction of Las Vegas as a city of transformation, from Sin City to Vegas Saints. Las Vegas Tonight, from Sin City to Vegas Saints, a collection of true stories of transformation, people whose lives were transformed, and people who are now transforming the world. A potential audience of more than 50 million people is reached every week by Las Vegas Tonight. To keep the important message of Christ's love on the air, we need your prayers and financial blessings. Please send your tax-deductible gift to Dale Davidson Ministries, 9030 West Sahara Avenue, number 255, Las Vegas, Nevada, 89117. For a donation of $25 or more, we'll send you a copy of Dale Davidson's new book, Las Vegas Tonight, From Sin City to Vegas Saints. You'll love these inspiring stories of Las Vegas Christians who are changing the world. Or donate to the ministry, or order Dale's book by going to vegassaints.org. That's vegassaints.org. Or call us today at 702-480-3989. That's 480-3989. God bless you.
Hello, I'm Dale Davidson. I hope you're enjoying Las Vegas Tonight. The guests we've had on the program are wonderful examples of Christians who take seriously Christ's command to love one another. In addition to the hundreds of television stations across the United States now carrying our show, we have been presented with the outstanding opportunity to bring these inspiring stories to people around the world. An international satellite network in the Russian and Ukrainian languages has asked us to provide them with episodes to be broadcast to millions. To make a gift to support this very special effort, please send your check or money order to Dale Davidson Ministries, 9030 West Sahara Avenue, number 255, Las Vegas, Nevada, 89117. To use your credit or debit card, call 702-480-3989. Thank you, and God bless you.
You've been watching Las Vegas Tonight with Dale Davidson. Send your tax-deductible gifts to Dale Davidson Ministries, 9030 West Sahara Avenue, number 255, Las Vegas, Nevada, 89117. Or call 702-480-3989. Thanks for watching.